Well, hello my beautiful friends and welcome to Tailor Made Beauty by Kris. In this video, I'm going to be doing a multi-D test of the Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation by Benefit. This is the packaging. For my taste personally, it's a little too cutesy, but I was interested. It says that it does light to medium coverage. And in their self-evaluation by 103 women, after a 1-week test, it says that 99 said it feels weightless, 98% it feels breathable, 96% it blurs imperfections, 95% said it gives a natural looking coverage. And I guess if you're a light to medium coverage, none of that should be surprising. It does have sunscreen, octanoxate at 5% and titanium dioxide at 2.06%, which they say yields an SPF of 15. Now, to get an SPF of 15 out of something like this, you would need to apply probably at least a tablespoon of it, which would be a quarter of the package. So we are not relying on this for our sun protection. All right, so the recommendations are to shake it well and apply 1 drop at a time with fingertips. So I'm going to try to get 1 drop. All right, ooh, it wants to do 2. It's pretty runny. And since this is day 1, no primer. I've done my morning, no primer. I've done my morning routine, which I'll link below if you haven't seen it, and I have sunscreen on, proper sunscreen. So we're going to try it with no primer today. So I'm taking that drop on my fingertip. It spreads nicely. I will say that at 1 drop, I don't feel like I put anything on. I don't think there's a big difference, except my face got a little bit red from rubbing it. So it says we can build it. So let's do another, oops, I got 2 drops that time. When I was looking at the ingredients, the first ingredient is water. Second ingredient is a silicone. Third ingredient, denatured alcohol. Why do they do that? Since I run normal to dry, I'm not sure how that's going to work and play with my skin. Maybe that's good if you have combination or oily skin. They do claim that this foundation is good for all skin types, but those of us that run dry may not agree with that. All right, so that's 3 drops, 4 drops for my whole face. And I would agree that that is light coverage. But I don't even feel like it evened out my skin tone that much. So I am going to go in for a second application, trying to get the 1 drop at a time. I will say though, it's spreading nicely with fingers. Okay, we'll try to get 1 more drop. With the shade range of 12, it might be hard to find your exact match. I am doing this in shade 4. And I feel like it's a pretty good match for my coloring this time of year in early summer. Also, I think maybe because it is light to medium coverage, that they can get away with not as broad of a shade range, because if it's sheer, I feel like foundations have a little bit more play, can play to a little bit broader range of colors when they're sheer. Nice blemish on my chin there. All right, so now here at 2 layers, I'm feeling like it's definitely buildable, and I would say this is kind of between medium and light coverage. And I'm going to go back in for a 3rd time just on areas where I do want more coverage. So my nose, and I'm kind of patting. I feel like at this point, if I'm rubbing, I'm just rubbing off or shoving stuff around, maybe not building, so I'm kind of patting. I have some blemishes in this area, so I'd like a little coverage for those. And just a little bit on the redness in my cheeks. And anything left can go on my forehead. So let's take a look here. If I can stop patting my face. I would say, well, here, let me come in close to you. I wouldn't give it very high marks on blurring. Maybe, you know, at a distance, yes, but then again, I find most of my foundations at a distance look fine. So it's really up close, and I know to look at my pores. I can see the pores right in this area, and maybe it's blurring the wrinkles in my forehead a little bit. You know, I think it looks fine. I will be setting it today. I'm going to use the Lancome Long Time No Shine powder to set it. You know, it's it's pretty, which is certainly not super enthusiastic on my part. But let's see how it wears today. It does feel, yeah, it doesn't feel heavy at all. And yeah, certainly enough of my imperfections show through so that it looks like natural skin. Well, of course, at light to medium coverage, I don't think we're expecting much more than that. All right, I am going to go finish up my makeup, and I'll pop back in just a minute. And here is my look for today. My eyes, I used Anastasia's Soft Glam palette. It's been a while since I've given that palette some love. I contoured and highlighted with the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Browns and Glow. On my cheeks, I have Tom Ford in Inhibition, just a nice nude look. Eyelashes are Too Faced Better Than Sex, and I finished it with It Bye Bye Pores pressed powder and used Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And the statement lip today is something I picked up at Target. Is this Starling by Noya, and this color is Phoenix. So I will check back in with you later on, and we'll see how this stuff wears. Hello, it has been just over 8 hours since I put this on, and I will say that looking in a regular mirror or standing at, you know, a comfortable distance from somebody, it still looks good. But looking up close or in a 10x mirror, I can see it's gone off my chin. It hasn't settled too badly into lines and wrinkles. Let me come in here and show you the chin. You can see about any lines and wrinkles. So, yeah, not too bad. It's felt good all day. It didn't get shiny. So that's the end of day one. Today, let's try this with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. And this is another one of those minis that I absolutely love to get. So, you know, if you're not sure about especially an expensive item like the Tatcha is, you can get the mini. And if I remember correctly, the full-size version of this is, I don't know, $40 or $50, and this mini was like 20 or 22. So a nice way to try it out without making a huge investment, and plus you get a lot of product in here. This is 7 grams, 0.24 ounces. So I'm just pressing it in. It is a putty type primer. I think some people think that the e.l.f. putty primer, if you can still find it anywhere, is a good dupe for this. I have not been able to find it, so I wouldn't know. All right, primed. And like I said, today, damp beauty blender. So let's get it all shaken up. And, whoops, whoa. There we go. Several drops came out there. Of course, we expect to lose some when we're using a damp beauty blender, so I'm picking some up. And I think I can tell that a lot of product is going into the beauty blender and not on my face. So whereas, you know, the directions say 1 drop, blend it in, and then if you need more coverage, do it again. You saw that was way more than 1 drop, and I've maybe only done bottom of my face, so let's get some more. There's 3 drops. And let's go in again, get the forehead. This does have a really nice scent to it. And now I'm going to build back over where I previously applied, because I would like medium coverage today. And I have some blemishes and bumps and stuff on my, especially my left side here, that I really would like to cover over. So I'm giving it a good bit here, and let's just keep building and see what we can get out of this. I feel like maybe this could qualify as aerobic upper body exercising. Well, I'm getting nice color out of it. I feel like now with everything I've put on, I've maybe built to what I would consider light coverage, which tells me my arm is going to get really sore. So let's go in with some more. Well, I would say that I have built this to medium coverage. Let me come in a little closer. You can see how that's covering my discoloration and up on my forehead. So I am going to go set this, finish my makeup, and I'll let you see that look before I carry on with my day. So when I'm not under my bright studio lights and just in my normal bathroom lighting, I really like the coverage and the look of this. Now, one thing I did notice when I was finishing my makeup, if you look in here, I'm getting a little settling in the creases around my mouth. Now that's easy to pounce out. I finished my makeup today. I'll take you through it really quickly. This is the Tarte BU Naturally palette. You may have gotten this in a BoxyCharm subscription if you have that subscription. I set the foundation with the Lancome Long Time No Shine loose powder. I have Lorac blush on in Prism. I have Becca highlighter, and this is in Moonstone. Am I the only one who can ever remember which side these Becca things open from? There we go. There's Moonstone. And on my lips is Pat McGrath in Flesh 6. And on eyes is Lancome's Monsieur Big. So I will check back in with you later on tonight, and we will see how this wears. Oh, shoot, I was gonna bring it. I used a new setting spray by Tarte, and so I'm also curious to see how that performs. Maybe it's not fair, two new things, one wearing, but we'll see. All right, see you later. Hello, my beautiful friends. It is late at night and it's 11 hours after I put my makeup on. I'm gonna say that this is done okay. It has worn off my chin, it's worn off my nose a bit, but honestly, you know what? We had 17 people over for a barbecue tonight, so, and I'm 50 years old. How good do I expect a foundation to look after 11 hours, 17 people, a barbecue, jet skis, etc., etc., etc. But what we're here for is the foundation. So let me come in close. See, it's pretty much worn off the chin and the nose, settled into pores a little bit into the lines up here. But you know what? From the distance that most people would see me, you know, a good, 4 to 6 feet, it's not too bad. So I'm curious to see how this does in further days. Today we're going to be using the same Tatcha primer, and I am going to be applying with a relatively new beauty blender. This is something called the Super Sponge. And what it is a beauty blender like we're used to, but the top portion of it is silicone infused. It says that this gives it a 2 to 4 times longer lifespan, that it's non-absorbent, so it doesn't pick up product. Yesterday, the beauty blender was picking up so much product. And this is also antibacterial, so it says it limits some forms of bacteria. So that's what I'm going to use to apply today. And yesterday I used that Tarte setting spray. And today, to be a little more fair, I'm going to use my Urban Decay All-Nighter. So let's first of all put the primer on. And again, trying to make this really similar to yesterday, so it's not so much a test of setting sprays, but of the foundation, although we will get to see how it performs with this Super Sponge versus the Beauty Blender. So, priming mostly the middle of my face. This is where I have texture and pores. Also, as we saw, that's where my makeup wears off, so that's where I want to get it to last a bit longer. And then anything remaining on my fingers just gets patted out into the remaining of my face. So let's try this today. Let's see if we can get 1 drop. Okay, we got kind of a drop and a half. Picking it up with the Super Sponge, and I picked it all up. Oh yes, I can already tell that that is putting down so much more product on my face. not being absorbed into the Beauty Blender. And this, it has a different feel. I mean, it is, you know, soft and pouncy like the traditional Beauty Blenders, but it has, I have tried to identify this sound. You know, it sounds like puppy feet or something like that. It just has a different sound quality. But oh man, all right. I'm using so much less product than yesterday and getting, you know, I feel like right now I'm at the same level of coverage that it took me 2 passes to get yesterday. I'm pretty pleased with that coverage. I am going to do a little bit more. I still have some blemishes in this area that I'd like to cover up. And I know, you know, kind of down the middle, it wore off yesterday. Of course, yesterday was kind of a crazy long day. Today isn't going to be quite as crazy, but I will make it as long. So let's just get the same 2 coats of coverage, 2 coats, like it's paint. Anyway, down the middle. All right. Well, yes, so the Super Sponge uses way less product for the same coverage. So I will go finish up and show you the finished look. Be back in just a minute. I have the exact same makeup on that I had yesterday. The only difference was yesterday I used this Tarte Stay Spray, which is the newest addition in kind of their Shape Tape line. That's how they're branding this. And today I am back to sort of my holy grail, the Urban Decay All-Nighter. And I am noticing that I don't feel like it's settling in quite as much around my my edges of my mouth, but I also feel like, is it completely worn off my chin already? Like, did I miss that? I just really, it doesn't feel like there's anything on my chin. So maybe to be fair, I will pop back to my bathroom, put a little bit more on my chin. Maybe it was applicator error, and I will see you later on tonight. Here we are at an 8-hour check-in, and looking at it, it's worn pretty well, but like yesterday, and as I was experiencing this morning, it's completely gone off of my chin. This is my, you know, I tend to touch my chin a lot during the day, so that's not too terribly surprising. It does look like it's worn a lot better around my nose. So I'm going to say that maybe that is the Urban Decay All-Nighter beating out the Tarte, whatever that setting spray was. Oh, it is late. Okay. But in either case, that wouldn't put it up to the foundation. So I think for, you know, a really moisturizing and a foundation with SPF in it, that, you know, 8 hours is pretty good. All right. We'll see what it does tomorrow. I took photos of me outside and under our kitchen lights, and we have LED bulbs in our kitchen. So you can see how it looks under those conditions. Here are my final thoughts on Benefit's Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation. it was a good, or it is a good, solid, light to medium coverage. I do think it looks a lot better under normal lighting conditions and not under my bright studio lights. I don't believe for me and my skin it delivered on the blurring promise to blur pores and fine lines. This certainly does not replace my Holy Grail foundations of my Chanel or my Giorgio Armani or even my L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour wear. Those are the ones I reach for when I want to look good, when it's an important date or an evening out. So this foundation, it's tough to say. I just had to give you a quick update. We have been traveling for 4 days, and for 4 days I've been using the Hello Happy Blurring Foundation. What I am absolutely loving on this trip is I don't need a beauty blender or a brush to apply it, which is great for travel, and it is wearing like a champ. Forget my primer? No big deal. Lose my setting powder? No big deal. I gotta say, it's kind of moved up in my opinion. Okay, back to the regular video. I think I will use it up. Like we're leaving on a trip soon, and we're going to be doing national parks in Colorado and Wyoming. So no fancy dinners, not seeing anybody. It's just my family. I will be wearing makeup, and this will be a good makeup for those days. So, you know, if you just don't want a really thick makeup look, you want something that feels good, that breathes, that gives you a little bit of sun protection, this is a good foundation for that. If you're looking for some high performance, you probably didn't reach for this in the first place. At a price point of $30 for, I believe it's 1 fluid ounce, that's a little bit expensive for what you get, I feel like. I don't feel like it delivers, you know, some of the skin ingredients that the Tarte Babesu does. So I won't be repurchasing this. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked it, you can let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I am still trying really hard to get over 100 subscribers, and you could help me get there. I post every Monday and Thursday. Have a really fantastic day.